to sound cool then, but it didn't really work. I know. I need to, this episode is not going to be about wrestling. This is just a little bonus ep. I need to explain what's been going on, with me. Because, as you know, anyone that follows my socials and stuff, have seen that I did post about some things. I've been just, going through some stuff. So I decided to take a little break from Wrestling Reverb, and first and foremost, I need to kind of let you in. Anyone that hasn't followed my socials or just didn't really understand what was kind of happening. I'm not going to go completely into detail of exactly what's been happening with me, because I like to keep that private. But of course, now the first things first is the reason that I'm kind of letting you guys in on this is because I have had nothing but I've been nothing but open and honest with you guys since the inception of Wrestling Reverb. So I did need to feel like I did need to let you know. And also it kind of, even if I'm going through this kind of stuff, so many other people are, and it's kind of makes it a little, it kind of puts handcuffs on the situation a little bit for me as if I talk about it. So I feel like it can help someone else. It can, whatever it may be. But so firstly, I've been a little bit in my own head as of recently. I used to have issues in the past with, anxiety and a very low form of depression in my teenage years, as a lot of teenagers do. But it's kind of, come back in the recent kind of last couple of months, and I've kind of just pushed it aside, pushed it on the table for as long as I can. And then after Christmas, it kind of hit me a little bit. Being very down and stuff like that. Now, like I said, I'm not going to go into detail of exactly what, but that is kind of what's been happening to me. Mental illness to me is real, even in its lowest forms. I don't think that my problem is any, more significant than the next, but I just felt like taking this little bit of time off from just life in general was needed. As much as this is one of my favorite things to do, and one of my biggest distractions, I just felt like I couldn't deliver a product that was genuine and sincere with the way I was feeling. Now, I did do a couple of podcasts during this time, one with the Ruthless Aggression podcast and one with Wilfred Watchers of the Fights of the Round Table, and they were both incredible experiences. And I haven't put out a Reverb episode in, I believe, 3 or 4 weeks, and it's been very hard not to. But it just was needed. I needed that time away. By no means am I through this stage and through this problem at all. It's just I'm learning to deal with it and learning to live life and stuff like that. I have to think, absolutely, I've had so much support from people on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram, whatever it may be, just on all my socials, people DMing me, reaching out, and just letting them know they're here for support. I cannot thank you. Know who you are. I'm not going to go through and give you all a shout out, of course, but you know who you are, and it truly does mean the world, and I appreciate it so much. And I could not have done any of this without you. And yeah, that's kind of what's been going on with me. I just felt like I needed to explain that kind of stuff, and just kind of let everyone know that even though there is still in 2019, for some reason there is still a stigma against mental health and against depression, anxiety, whatever it may be. I just think it does really help to just talk about it, whether it is whether you feel like it's just with a friend, with a family member, whether it's on your Twitter account, on your Facebook, whatever you need to do to make yourself feel better, and try and fix the problem. I'm not an expert on this. I'm still dealing with it. I'm just learning to live and learning to distract myself. And speaking of distractions, one of the biggest distractions for me, believe it or not, is wrestling. Wrestling is I've always said this, pro wrestling is my first love. Pro wrestling is my first thought I kind of think about when I'm in these, down days and stuff like that. I chuck on some wrestling. It just helps. Everyone knows how much I'm passionate about pro wrestling. Everyone knows how much I love it. Anyone that's around me knows how much I love it too, not just the people that listen to a podcast, but wrestling is my biggest distraction. It is my biggest love. It does, even if it's just for a couple of hours a day, that's 2 hours where I'm not down and out for the day, and it does really, really help me. And in this time away, I've kind of studied and fell back in love with pro wrestling. I think after Survivor Series and that, I knew it was coming. We're always in a bit of a slump with wrestling between Survivor Series and the Rumble. It's just what it is, with the holidays and stuff like that. And I think it just hit me at a time when I really needed wrestling. I needed it surrounding me and stuff like that. But nonetheless, these last maybe 3 weeks have really rejuvenated my love for it again, and realized how much I want Wrestling Reverb to get bigger and better. Which brings me to, I'm not going to announce this on here because it's not the time. It'll be in the next couple of days. But there is an announcement coming for the future of Wrestling Reverb. And I'll give you a little hint. Wrestling Reverb is expanding. It's getting bigger. I've said this not from day one. Day one, my intention for Wrestling Reverb was just to make a podcast and just to chat wrestling. That's all I wanted to do. It was just going to be a hobby. As I've learnt in the last 8-9 months of doing this, is that this has real potential to become my job. This has real potential to become my full-time job. I want to make this my livelihood. It is a dream and goal of mine to just expand this to be as big as it can be. I have started to really understand the community a little better, and I'm starting to actually make genuine connections with people through this. It has introduced me to some of my favorite people in the world, like the guys, Carl and Levi at the Ruthless Aggression podcast, Darren, who's at Mags and Bags on Twitter. The list goes on and on. Wilfred and everything else, just everyone. It's just so many different connections to people online who just love wrestling and are actually great people on top of that. So, this is really beginning to become what I love to do, and it's what I'm putting my 100% of my effort. And it doesn't happen overnight, of course, and it really does take a lot of hard work and dedication to this to commit and to make this better and better. So this is my passion. This is what I want to do. I want to expand it in other avenues. Podcast always being my number one kind of deal, but I want to. YouTube will be coming back soon. Probably not till next month, but it is coming back. My Twitch streaming, I'm getting started. Getting some stuff behind that now to re-begin that. And just my socials, I want people to know the name Wrestling Reverb, and I want people to understand that I'm just a pro wrestling fan like anyone else is. I just want to make this so great, and I think with dedication and hard work, you can aspire to do what you want. So yeah, this is just kind of an update on everything. And yeah, there will be an announcement coming in the next couple of days, so please stay at Wrestling Reverb, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, wherever you find it. You'll see it all over my socials. It's kind of in a few parts, but it is an announcement of one kind of grand thing. I also want to talk about the fact that there is a giveaway on my Facebook at the moment. You can enter. It's a Facebook exclusive giveaway, so facebook.com/Wrestling Reverb. And you can enter to win a Becky Lynch The Man t-shirt from www.shop.com. It is, all you got to do is like the Wrestling Reverb Facebook page, tag a friend, and it goes into a random draw. The drawing is happening 8 p.m. Adelaide Australian time on Monday night. So that's when the entries close. The draw will probably happen about an hour after that. So you have some time between, you got 48 hours, a little bit more than that, but you got about 48 hours to go and do this and to get entered. There's like a bunch of entries now, so get on that. It's open to anyone in the world, as well, anyone that can get WWE shop merchandise shipped to their country, you're open to it. So I think that's anywhere in the damn world. But yeah, that is happening. I got some. Please, I really am hyping my Facebook as of late because I have Facebook polls on there. There's some things about future episodes of Wrestling Reverb, and yeah, Reverb is definitely on the up, and it's definitely coming up to a little bit of a rebrand of sorts. The approach is still the same. I still want to just genuinely talk about wrestling, but just the way I go about things is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit more guest heavy. It's going to be a little bit more structured, I think. I think I eventually will get a little bit more of a schedule. As you know, I kind of learn my audience a little better. My audience is growing rapidly. I just am very excited, and I want to put in the hard yards to do this, and without you guys, it's nothing. So I do appreciate everyone who's listened, liked, retweeted, reached out for their support, voted in my polls on Facebook, entered the giveaway. Just everything. Everything is just so... I'm just so happy and genuinely thrilled just to be doing this. So this is just... like I said, just an update on what's going on, and Wrestling Reverb will be back within 7 days. You're going to have a new episode of Wrestling Reverb. I'm not going to say too much because there is an announcement coming about the first episode in the next couple of days, and some other announcements in there as well. It's very big news, so I hope you're excited. And please, follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all at Wrestling Reverb. You'll find me. I also need to tell you to please, I really would appreciate it if you go to iTunes and rate this 5 stars, give it a review. It just bumps it up. It gets more eyes on this. Wrestling Reverb is available wherever you're listening to this now. Wrestling Reverb is pretty much available on most podcast listening devices, streams, whatever you call it. Wherever you listen to your podcasts, you'll generally find Wrestling Reverb. I know we're on Anchor, and we're on Spreaker, and we're on SoundCloud, on YouTube, and Spotify, and iTunes, and Podbean, and the list goes on and on. Wherever you can kind of find it, you'll find Wrestling Reverb. I'm trying to get this out to as many people as possible, so wherever you prefer to listen, you can get Wrestling Reverb. It's pretty easy. But yeah, please, do all that. Go to my Facebook, enter the giveaway, vote in that poll, because there's a poll that's come up. It's very close to the top. It's about the Alexa Bliss and Mandy Rose segments, and WWE producing some edgier content. I need as many people, whether you're wrestling fans or you're not wrestling fans, really would like an opinion, because it's about women in general in society, because it's going to be a future episode of Wrestling Reverb where I kind of delve deep on a little bit of a different subject, maybe a little bit more on utilizing women in a different way and sexism in wrestling and stuff like that. I need all of the votes I can, though, and all of your opinions on that as I can, because I like to get different kinds of point of views, because my point of view is one way, and I'm not saying I'm right or wrong, but it's only one kind of opinion. I had a chat with my younger sister just through a Facebook message about this, and it was in a very different sense of her point of view. So I will be talking about that and stuff like that. But yeah, please go and do all of that kind of stuff. I really appreciate absolutely every one of you, and stay tuned for that announcement, because it's coming very, very soon. And I'll catch you guys next time on Wrestling Reverb. Peace.